Hey everybody, Mr. Morrell here, and we are going to go through homework assignment 12.6, which is kind of tough. I know it's tough. Rotating is so confusing for some students for some reason. So much so that I always teach all of my students 3 different methods, and that one of those methods works usually like a third of the class likes one method, a third of the class likes the other, and a third of the class likes another. And then, not only that, I guess I shouldn't say a perfect third, because there are some students where those still don't work out, and I have to kind of teach other personalized methods that are some combination of the other methods. And it's just like a mess. But we're going to do our best, and we're going to make it through this together. Now, I'm going to be using the L method for this video. The slope method is a little too advanced, and I'm guessing students who use the slope method are not watching this video. The paper turning method is a great one for students who are struggling, and probably a lot of the viewers of this video are using the paper turn method, but I can't do paper turning with this app, so that's just not going to work. So I'm going to use the L method, and hopefully, and I really truly believe the L method is the best one to use. So I'm going to use the L method. I hope we can do this. We can. Now, I know traditionally I do all of the level 1 questions. But in this video, what I wanted to point out to you is that if you look here, point A is in the same place in all of the questions that we have. And all of the directions on the left side are exactly the same. What I did is I tried to take you through this step by step, and maybe this is a dumb idea. I might change it for next year. I'm not sure. But basically, I added 1 point for each row. So what I mean by that is point A is the same, and then in this question down here, I added point B. And then those two are the same down here, points A and B, and I added point C. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do questions 5 and 6, and in the process of doing questions 5 and 6, I'm also answering questions 1, 2, no wait, I'm going to answer questions, wait, 1 second, 5 and 6, oh okay, the answer key that I'm looking at is a little bit different, but yeah, so in the process of answering questions 5 and 6, I'm also answering 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, let's do it. We need to rotate triangle ABC 90 degrees clockwise around point 0, 0. So the first thing I'm going to do for you guys is mark point 0, 0. That's what we're rotating around. And we're going 90 degrees clockwise. So I always do this, even myself as an old fogey. I will always draw myself arrows to remind myself clockwise and counterclockwise, because it's really easy to mix up. Now, the L method. We all grew up with clocks. We're very familiar with the ways that clocks move. And when we think about things like a clock, it becomes a lot easier for us, I believe. Okay, so here we go, L method. My recommendation is I always start at the center of rotation and I draw an L to my point. And you could draw different L's. For example, I could draw this L here. Or I could draw this L here. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to keep this L now because that's what I've drawn. It's really easy to rotate 90, 180, or 270 degrees when you draw L's. And the reason why that is because of clocks. We're very used to seeing clocks. So, right now, think about this part of our L. Rotate that 90 degrees clockwise, and that's very easy to see that that's going to point up like this. Okay? So, again, think of a clock. If you taped this little paper, if you taped a little paper onto the minute hand as it moved around the clock, you just kind of want to visualize that. So as this yellow line rotates, that's our minute hand, and we taped this random paper to the end, you just kind of want to imagine how that moves around the clock. Where would it be pointing if that clock moved around? And hopefully you can see that that little end, the foot, I'm going to call that the foot, would would be pointing in that direction of the clock as the minute hand moved around. Well, right here is where A prime is going to be. So notice, A prime is right there. That was the answer to question 1. Okay, question 1 looks like that. Now, just so that it's clear for the video, I know that you can't really do this on your paper, but I can on here, so I'm going to. I'm going to do a rotation of point B. So point B, again, I'm going to connect the center to this point, and I want to imagine that being a minute hand on a clock and rotate that point 90 degrees. Well, this is really easy. There's no foot to worry about. I think you can see pretty easily that that would rotate right there if it was moving 90 degrees clockwise. So B prime would end up right here. And notice, if I connect these 2 points, that is the answer to question 3. Okay? Now, point C. Once again, let me put my center here. Oh my gosh. My center here. And 2 different L's you could draw. It doesn't matter to me. I'm just going to draw this one, only I'm going to draw them in different colors. Okay? Again, this is the center of our clock. This is the minute hand. Move that one first. That minute hand is going to move right there. And do you want to imagine if you had a taped like paper on that hand of that clock, then it would end up right there. And so that is point C prime. I can connect these, and this is the answer to number 5. And I know this is right because my triangle looks right. If your triangle ends up all ski-wampus and doesn't even kind of look like the same triangle, you need to erase and start over again. Okay, let's go to question 6. Same idea. 2, 4, and 6 are all very related. A, B, and C are in the same place. But this time we're going to rotate 180 degrees. And we can do that with the L method again. There are some shortcuts that I'll talk about in class, but I don't want to talk about those shortcuts here because I think the L method is such a great one. Okay, same thing. Here's my center. Here's an L I'm going to draw with 2 different colors. I'm going to keep my center of my clock the same. Let's start by rotating the minute hand. So that's going to put that 180 degrees. And let me just point out, 180 degrees either clockwise or counterclockwise, it would not matter. We would end up at the same place. That's kind of something special about 180 degrees. Now, if you imagine that blue paper on the end of that minute hand, I hope you can visualize that that would end up like that as that minute hand moved around the clock. And this is where A prime would end up. That's the answer to question 2. Okay? Now let's rotate point B. Let me go ahead and erase my L's from before. Put my center back in. Alright, point B. Oh, that was just the line straight down. Well, 180 degrees is going to be very simple. That's just going to put it straight up here for B prime. And if I connect these 2, that is the answer to question 4. Okay. Erase these yellow lines so I can do that again. Point C. Here's my minute hand. Here's the leg, or the taped paper thingy idea. If I move my minute hand 180 degrees, it's going to be going straight up, and my paper is going to be pointed in that direction. Again, just kind of imagine that minute hand turning with the paper. It wouldn't make sense if that hand was turning to have the paper pointed in this direction. Okay, so the paper is pointed in this direction, and right here is point C prime. Connect those all together, and there is your triangle. Oh man, are you guys okay? Are we hanging in there? Because that was only level 1, which means we've got a couple of questions on the back we've got to do. Alright, so level 2. I'm going to answer questions 7 and 10. Okay, so question 7 is asking us to rotate 90 degrees counterclockwise. So again, I'm going to go counterclockwise. I'm drawing my arrows to remind myself the direction. Okay? And we're going around point A. So there's something nice about this. Point A is not going to move, so A prime is going to end up right in that same place. Okay. Now, it doesn't matter how you draw your triangle, or your L. I'm going to go this way. I usually try to make the minute hand as long as possible, just because I visualize it better when I do. So, given the options, I'll make the side coming off of the center of rotation the longer side. Okay, so I'm going to imagine that yellow line moving counterclockwise 90 degrees. So take this, rotate just the minute hand 90 degrees. It's going to end up like this. And again, I'm imagining that paper taped to it. And if it was moving with the minute hand, it would end up right there. This is point B prime. Okay, let me do my best to erase without ruining too much stuff. There we go. And again, I usually prefer to keep the longer edge connected to the center of rotation, and then my tail like that. If the minute hand were to rotate 90 degrees, it would come up this direction like this. Okay? And it looks like it's 4 long, so we'll do 4 long like that. And the paper would be kicking out in this direction like that. And here is our triangle, A, B, C. Alright, let's come down here. Number 10. The only reason I'm not drawing my directional clockwise, counterclockwise thing is 180 degrees. Doesn't matter which direction you go. So, we're rotating around point C. So the nice thing is that C doesn't change. It's going to be in the same place. Alright, B. Let me draw my... Oh no, let me make this one blue. Okay, when I rotate this 180 degrees, it's going to end up pointing straight up like that. And it's going to be kicking out in this direction. I just thought of something. If we drew the kick out like that, that would be a reflection. Do you kind of see how this L and this L are reflections of one another? We don't want a reflection. We're rotating right now. So that's another reason why the foot is going to kick out in the other direction. Okay, here's B prime. And then, well, we already know that C prime's in the same place. For A, go like that. Okay, rotate the yellow part 180 degrees. It's going to come back 4 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the foot is going to kick upwards like that. So that's A prime. And we connect our 3 points like that. Sorry, I know I'm a little off. And there is our 180 degree rotation. Okay, level 3. On each of these, because this is so tough, I am willing to rotate 1 point with you. So we're going to rotate the triangle 90 degrees clockwise. So let me draw my arrows. Around the point 1, 1. Here is my center of rotation. Let me go ahead and rotate point A for you. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my L. And I want to rotate this going this way, right? Yeah, clockwise. So this needs to rotate upward. So that's going to be going up 4. And my foot is going to be kicking out in this direction 3 spaces, which puts A prime right here. So all you need to do now is you need to rotate C and B to finish up the triangle. Okay, let's come over here. I'm happy to help you. We're rotating around the point 1, 1, 180 degrees. Let me draw that same triangle like this. Okay, if I rotate that yellow line 180 degrees, it's going to be sticking out this direction here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, And then the foot is going to be going in the opposite direction from what you see, so it doesn't look like a reflection. And this right here is where A prime should end up. Okay, cool. Well, yeah, we did it. We survived that video. That is so great. Congratulations, you guys. I will see you on the flip side.